just to see what resources may fit your needs.
Right.
And right off the bat, we talked about mediation.
Right. And I also talked to, I think her name is Ms. Alexander. I have several emails back and forth with her. She was like, y'all even do mediation. So I've been like outreaching to other outside agencies.
Okay, so Ms. Alexander is here at the
Yeah, she's the one, the leasing officer, the manages this building.
all right, so she may not be familiar.
I don't think she's at all. And it's getting to the point where literally, I called the police, and the police are now looking at NYCHA. Because, like, they're wondering why.
So what was the police report about?
The police report was basically about, like, harassing. Like, I don't like snakes at all. Like, I have a phobia of snakes.
Okay.
And, like, the kids are kind of like, walking by the door, making their comments. But they weren't the only ones. It initially started with the adults. And then their kids kind of took the blame for the adults that don't want to stand up and be like stand-up characters. You know?
So they actually at that time took a report?
Yeah.
What
they did a field report.
What day was that? You remember? Was it winter?
It was like
summer?
May, I want to say.
Oh, May. So it was this year,
It's like April or May, yeah.
2021.
I think it's actually two. A female did one, and I spoke to a sergeant.
Both in the same. Okay. And what was the complaint? Was it?
I think it was
harassment.
Yeah, because when I was basically.
What was the details of the incident?
Basically, like saying like the ongoings, like if I was to, like pick a wedgie and walk, like you could hear like, oh, he's picking out a wedgie and walking, and I'm just like, what the? You know what I mean? Like,
so has it been any? I don't know if the police has, but like verbal exchange?
Yeah, one time, or a couple times actually. At first,
that report was any verbal.
Oh no! Like it was just basically a build-up. So the reports basically are detailed explanations of the build-up, meaning like it has different explanations within itself that kind of explain the ongoing problem. But they keep saying NYCHA should actually be more progressive in moving me either to another apartment on the same facility or coming to mediation with certain of the neighbors, because they're like, well, we really can't do too much.
PSA,
right.
Yeah,
and then I'm also having issues. I had like somebody, I had several complaints. Like they're down there in the office, and I've been talking to Ms. Alexander via email, so I'm always trying to send her emails in regards to what's going on. You saw like I had no trespassing sign, I have like a camera. I actually have more cameras they're going to install since the flood. It's been kind of like, but once they bring us to like,
so I'm just gonna ask a few questions. There has been verbal exchange.
Yes.
Has there ever been any physical assault? Yes or no?
To a certain extent, yes, but I didn't see who it was. Like,
okay, what's that?
Grab and touch, yes.
Okay. You were coming in the apartment. You were in the apartment.
Window locked. Window shut.
They should do so. You know what I'm saying?
How many adjacent walls do you all have?
That's like one, and I have a neighbor above, beside. On that side below.
So
there used to be doors over here.
Where's the bathroom wall?
Like the bathroom. Like the bathroom.
You don't mind showing me?
No. It's supposed to drive me crazy. Absolutely nuts.
So y'all share this.
But it's this. I had to patch up every little hole. I was like, why are these holes that you see right here?
Yeah.
Right here.
They
right here.
Moved it?
Right. No, and it started appearing, and I'm like,
okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Like I started feeling like,
is there a physical wall here between you or?
that was like the grandmother's old room, so it's like everything in here is pretty much started.
Oh no, I'm saying is that wall
Adjacent to them, yeah. But the grandmother stayed there, so.
There's no private house.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know it was grandma?
This is the kids, this is the grandma, you know, you can kind of tell.
So at what time did y'all have a relationship?
No. It's spoke like kind of combined.
Okay. But, I mean, was it people walk? Did you have a grandma?
No, I just heard. I do, you can hear sometimes I have a lot of it.
Okay, so they would address trash can. Okay, and so then I'll go back to do some type of.
A little verb is basically me introducing myself.
A lot of residents on, they have a healthy person.
So I guess she honestly heard it. A little bit, not much. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the main problem is obviously where the most frustration has been taken out, which is the bad.
Okay, would you say they intentionally obey?
Yes. Yes.
Not in the street.
There's been things in the street there, but not like
Not out of 7 days a week.
Yeah.
This one, time out of the, okay, we're talking 7 days out of the week.
Every day.
Loud talk.
Underneath
You have like a little conversation that's always kind of going on in the background, like one of those, like a moment conversation. You know what I mean?
But not loud talk.
no, not loud. Basically, always.
There, and you have, this is the one that's on my street. And no Jason walls in the kitchen. Any reason why they meaning Nycha haven't given you the cabinets?
I have no idea. It's been like
Okay,
there.
any reason why you don't have a sink, so.
Yeah, the fridge was there, but I liked it over there.
Okay, oh, so this is the walkway space?
Yeah, I just didn't want it open.
Yeah, okay. Air conditioner, so, yeah, so that's the neighbor in there, I guess the B, that's 3 feet. And what about 4A?
Annoying, party, loud, constant, going off and on. It's like every other day is a.
And I later went on to retract part of this comment because I've noticed that it wasn't always 4A. Though I did hear jump roping and doing this and doing that. That was stemming from 4A. And initially it was a mixture of 4A and 4B because it was over my kitchen. But then somebody stated it was above once they finally opened the door, which I thought was strange. Continuing.
In 4A, I've been upstairs. I never like single apartment out. So I'm gonna never say
No.
4A in itself.
Okay, because they usually ask.
Right.
You
There
have.
has been times that have been loud, yes.
Okay, so with 311, because that's something that NYCHA and all New Yorkers have to utilize for documentation
Right.
when they have some type of issue with their neighbors.
Right.
So for 311, how many documented complaints do you have
I have no idea.
for upstairs?
It's like general, like I said, they're all general because it's like it's not just one. Like it'll be all of them at the same time. It's not like just
Because that
we're
happened
doing
to my.
this day. As soon as you walk out the bathroom, you go to the next day. But you're like,
That's
damn,
not what
like
I'm
now I'm
saying.
in a totally
That's not what
different
I'm saying.
scenario. No, that's what happens.
How many complaints have you picked up the
I have no
phone and
idea.
said 311?
Probably like
You have to get it.
6.
Okay, so you can
like
get
in
it.
general, yeah.
Okay, but you could get a documented record.
Yes, I could have done it. Yes.
Okay, so that's something that we do need.
I had complaints with mayors.
Dang, okay.
Office.
No, let's just stay with
311.
311.
I go big. I don't do
Well,
311.
because the policies and procedures for NYCHA is, in New York is,
I'm already
you have a paper trail.
Right.
And you call 311. And then, yeah, they're gonna call NYCHA. But then, so that's something that you wanna have, even if you go to mediation,
Mm-hmm.
you should have that documentation, whether they email you, well, they usually email you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they send anything out by paper. When you do the complaint, they do.
It's like
So,
on this wall, I think there was one from that, and there's like the NYCHA employees.
oh, so you say if you get a lot of noise from somebody over there.
Mm-hmm. And NYCHA employees that are down here at the bottom, NYCHA employees that are around the corner, they kind of hang out. I don't know what they do in this other apartment around the corner, because they really work my nerves over there.
So they, that's the trash I'm packing down there maybe.
Yeah,
So you say there's congregating with employees under
Right
the
here.
window?
Exactly.
What
And
time
around
of
the
day?
corner too. It's different now because you hear how quiet it is? Never this way.
Okay, so outside of this one day,
Right.
out of 7 days out of the week, how many times do you get congregating with night employees down there underneath your window?
Like 10 hours up the whole day for the most part. There's always somebody. There's always like out there. There's
Do
like
they leave that quick? I like to think they would leave that quick time.
actually, I guess, yeah.
But it's never like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
It's like 5, they get out there and start sweeping. I'm like, the hell?
Okay, you say 5 a.m.?
Like, yeah, 5, 6 a.m. Like,
Okay, so they shift may start at 5 a.m. if they're sweeping. That's normal employee behavior. But if you're saying they
Pause. So did you notice that? So while they're bringing homeless people to dig in the trash to start talking and doing, it was originally night shop more so.
constantly take their
And then
lunch
also
break.
and then also like there are a lot of maintenance guys that are coming up on this floor on the other side. So I don't know if they have a maintenance apartment that's across from this one. So I think it's like
So how does, because it's around the other side, how does that impact you?
like when I usually come around a corner, they'll say something that is in general reference to what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like I have that on tape to where like say if I'm in here and I'm like, shaking my butt or something naked, like they'll come around the corner like, oh yeah, all this butt in here be shaking naked. And I'm like, that's kind of weird.
But
And I'm like, the first one you're
Let's wait for that. Somebody sound like they asked if that sound familiar.
ignore. It's like the second one, like I'll be sitting here talking about something. And then come around the corner, yeah, shake it up, baby. And I'm just like, wow.
So that's like on the
feels
outside.
like you
You would hear that from the hallway.
Right. Really not cute.
So it's just basically 3B or 4A would be willing to have a mediation with.
And I think 4B actually. The one above them, or 4B.
Not 4A.
4A too.
4A.
4A, 4B.
What's 4B?
4B is the children. It's like another set of children that are on the other side. So it's like children
Which is
upstairs.
it noise or is it harassment?
It feels like it's kind of both now, kind of like mixed in. That's why I'm like trying to figure out like exactly pinpoint. But then there's also 2 little young boys that are also of Spanish descent that play on the little area in the patio, which is another one that's a question.
Okay, so when we talk about the mediation, we would have
The
to.
departments that the ones that are really touching.
Right. So
So it'd be them on this part.
So now I'm just gonna ask you some questions, based on the assessment I would do to see what other services might benefit you to tolerate.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I just want them to be out of my apartment and like allow it.
When did you move here from this apartment? Was it July of 2020?
Almost a year ago, August.
Oh, August of 2020.
Well, near the
St. Nicholas or
St. Nicholas, yeah.
King Towers? We talked about it. Was it?
Oh yeah, near King.
But it was NYCHA.
They did emergency transfer because.
And it was an emergency
And
transfer.
I'm like, y'all really trying to get me into NYCHA.
Okay, so it was emergency transfer.
Yeah, but it's
Did you get a chance to see this apartment before you moved in?
I did actually. It was decent. I like the space. The last apartment was like basically the
A studio.
studio, right? So it's like, oh, okay, you kind of upsell to a bigger
Yeah,
apartment.
this is a one bedroom. I
And then it's like, oh, you have to pick. You can't turn this down without. Like, I can't see the other apartment unless I turn this down. So I was like, well, why would I turn this down?
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you some basic questions about like your health care.
Right, I'm good on that. But I don't discuss that with NYCHA.
Okay, so
I don't
outside
have
of,
any medical issues or something.
have you never had any major surgeries? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had any mental health diagnoses?
Nope.
No.
I'll check that.
I forgot I have had surgeries, but we're not gonna go That's personal business, but
You go to school here in New York?
Yep, CUNY back in school, City College,
Where did you graduate from? What high school?
and down south.
Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina.
One of them states.
Oh, okay, because that's what I said. So as a licensed social worker, we do a comprehensive assessment. Our assessment,
I actually checked out, so I'm good.
was that for housing purposes or medical
That was
purposes?
for all the way around. Like I've done several to make sure that.
So when you came to lecture, I'm just gonna ask, did you come from the shelter system?
No.
Okay, you had to.
Well, like, yeah, not really, no. I had paid for it, paid for a room, rather. Was working.
Okay, and then because it's not.
When I got back, I actually was in Georgia.
When did you put in?
I was in Georgia, and I came back, and like a month later, I hit your call. So I was like,
Okay,
wow.
and what year was that? When you first came into the night shift?
Was it 2 years? Right when I stepped foot, I think it was 2018 that I came in October. But I came in the end of September. In October, they called the beginning of actually September. Yeah, beginning
About
of October, they gave
2018.
me an apartment.
Okay. Who do you consider your support system?
God,
Siblings? Do you have mom, dad?
we talk here and there. We're good.
Are you affiliated with any religious?
No.
Okay. Certainly you must have at least, like, if something was really going on with you, you do have a person.
I'm grown enough to know where to take myself and get it fixed. I'm grown up to fix it myself.
Oh, okay.
Some people are more advanced that way, I guess, or trained differently. So,
I'm just curious, what did you study at CUNY?
Business.
Oh, okay. How much did you complete, or are you still going on for a
Still
master's?
going back.
Okay, but not active.
I was active. I'm getting back. I was just talking to my advisement counselor today via email. We're supposed to have a discussion about classes next fall.
Yeah.
So I just actually had to pause. I was in school last semester, but had to stop due to all of this shit. Excuse my language.
Okay, due to,
All of this crap.
okay, so, help me understand the connection.
Like basically, I came here. I was in school. I was working.
Mhm.
They had the little game going on to where if I answered a question right, oh yeah, and just that, like make a little commentary, something about calling somebody's child a retard when I didn't. I was more so thinking it. I didn't verbalize it. They started going all around and up to my school saying I called the teacher's son, blah, 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 blah. I was just like, wow, like, this is a bit much. Like, how do you say that when, you know what I mean? I was like, it came on the same days that I would go to school. So like, say like, the comment was made here. I didn't say it.
Mhm.
But then I go to my school.